All right, let's dive into something that sounds straight out of science fiction, but it's actually happening. We're talking about the future of AI. And what if I told you it's not in the cloud, but under the sea?
I know, it sounds kind of crazy, right? But this isn't just a wild idea. Engineers and some of the biggest tech companies out there are taking this very, very seriously. And to really get why, we first need to look at a huge problem that our digital world is creating right here on dry land.
Think about it. Every single time you use an AI tool, you're pinging a data center somewhere in the world. And as AI gets smarter and more powerful, those data centers are just getting bigger and, well, hungrier. We're talking an insatiable appetite for electricity. Just to put it in perspective, in the US alone, their energy use is expected to triple by 2030, and a lot of that is because of AI. But here's the kicker. A massive chunk of that energy isn't even for the computing part.
This might actually shock you. Up to half of a data center's entire energy bill can go to just one thing: cooling. Yeah, just keeping thousands of servers from basically melting down. It is a huge, expensive headache. So, what if you could just put all those servers somewhere that's, naturally and permanently cold? And that's where this radical solution comes in. The idea is you basically put all your servers into a giant, totally waterproof capsule, sink it to the bottom of the ocean, and just let the ocean do the cooling for you, for free. And this isn't just a concept. One country is already making it a commercial reality. That's right, China, off the coast of Hainan Island. They've launched the world's very first commercial, fully operational underwater data hub. It is a massive project, and you won't believe how fast they've moved on it.
I mean, the speed here is just incredible. After only about 2 years of successful tests, they dropped the first commercial capsule into the water in March 2023. And this thing is a beast. A sealed vessel that weighs 1,300 tons. The plan now? Scale it up. Big time. They want to prove this isn't just some one-off experiment. And the reason they're betting so big on this, well, it all makes sense when you look at the numbers.
Get this, a 90% reduction in the energy needed for cooling. 90%! That is an absolute game changer. Just by using the cold seawater that's all around it, these underwater centers basically eliminate one of the biggest costs and one of the biggest carbon footprints of the entire tech industry.
I mean, just look at the comparison. It's night and day. On land, you're paying for expensive cooling systems, you need tons of land, and you're guzzling massive amounts of fresh water. Underwater, the cooling is free, it takes up zero land, and it uses zero fresh water. From a sustainability standpoint, it's a pretty powerful argument.
And don't think this is some small-scale test. We're talking about a serious operation. When the Hainan Center is fully up and running, it'll have the processing power of 6 million desktop computers all firing at once. That is some serious computational muscle. So what does that look like in the real world? Well, all that efficiency adds up to saving 122 million kilowatt hours of electricity every single year. To put that into perspective for you, that's enough energy to power roughly 160,000 homes. And the performance? It's just staggering. This thing can process over 4 million high-def images in about 30 seconds. That's the kind of raw speed and power that the next generation of AI is going to need. Okay, so the benefits are huge, right? So huge, they almost sound a little too good to be true. So, have we found it? Is this the perfect solution to AI's massive energy problem? Well, as you can probably guess, it's not quite that simple.
Yeah, putting our tech at the bottom of the ocean comes with a whole new list of hurdles to clear. Maintenance is a big one. If a server breaks, you can't just send an IT guy down the hall. You have to haul the entire capsule back up to the surface. Then there are the environmental questions. What does all this heat and electromagnetism do to marine life long term? Plus, the initial cost to build and deploy these things is sky high, and they face some, let's say, unique security risks.
And this part is just fascinating. Because sound travels so well through water, researchers have figured out that you could, in theory, use specific sound waves to vibrate the hardware inside. You could actually disrupt the whole system with an acoustic attack. That's a vulnerability that, a data center in Ohio just doesn't have to think about.
But look, even with all these hurdles, what's happening in China isn't just some niche experiment. A lot of people are looking at this as a potential blueprint for the future. It's a really bold move to completely rethink our data infrastructure, literally from the seabed up. And it's an idea that's definitely starting to make waves around the world.
Other major tech hubs are paying close attention, especially island nations where land is scarce and tech is king.
You've got places like Japan, South Korea, and Singapore already looking into similar ideas. It really feels like we could be on the verge of a global shift in how and where we store our data.
Which brings us to the final big question. Our digital world is growing exponentially. Our hunger for AI is only making that happen faster. So to keep up, are we going to have to fundamentally change how we use our planet's biggest, coldest, and most abundant resource? As our digital world grows, will our oceans become our hard drives? It's definitely something to think about.